Hello everyone. Here I'm going to recall and give you which particular concept is very important for your competitive examination from the chapter Animal Kingdom. That's what I'm going to explain a bit about the concepts which is given in your NCERT. So this is our NCERT textbook. All the questions for the NEET examination will be directly picked from NCERT, but the mode of the question and the pattern of the question could be different. Okay, normally they pick a question in such a way that to confuse you. Only thing is you have to be very much thorough with this particular book, NCERT. Animal classification particularly requires certain criterias, that is basis of classification concept, in that we have studied so many different concepts. Here you see level of organization. This is not required. Okay, normally these are the basic level of classification, so you will not get any question from this concept level of organization. But if you move to this part in the same basis of classification, that is levels of organization, you see complete digestive system and incomplete digestive system. Please learn that. For example, blind sac body plane in the case of coelentrates. Do you remember it? Or you take a tube within a tube in the case of earthworm. Yes, so these are very important. Okay, then if I talk about the circulation, then there are two types. The animals can be classified into two types based on its circulation type, open type or closed type. Please write down the examples in your NCERT textbook itself, like write the examples for open type and closed type. Got it? In the case of porifera, there is no circulation. Yes? Okay. Symmetry is very important. Particularly this diagram could be asked. These two diagrams. One is radial symmetry, the other one is bilateral symmetry. Please know about this. This diagram is very important. No need to practice the diagram, but you must know. If the diagram is given and in the question, you may get a question like, what type of symmetry it exhibit, this particular animal. So very simple, it is radial symmetry. In this case, it is bilateral symmetry, correct? Okay, so remember that. Here you see the germ layers, ectoderm, mesoderm and endoderm. Okay, this diagram could be asked. You should differentiate between these two diagrams. See, this is the middle layer between ecto and endoderm, but here cells are absent. See, but in this case cells are there, correct? That means it is mesoglea. Mesoglea is present, so this is 100% diploblastic animals. Got it? This diagram is very important. Here it is triploblastic animals. Got it? Okay. Again, diploblastic or triploblastic, particularly if you take coelom, that is normally seen in triploblastic animals. So we just turn the page. Here, yeah, this diagram is very important. Particularly this diagram could be asked. So this particular diagram will be picked from NCERT, and the question could be like this. Which particular phyla exhibit this pattern of coelom? So it is pseudo-coelomate organism. Example is, you know it, that is Aschelmanthus. So you need to highlight this and underline this. Very important. Good. Very, very important. Got it? Okay. So then comes to the segmentation. Before that, let me tell you one more thing. Again, coelomate organisms are also called as eucoelomates. Again, it is classified into two types. They are schizocoelomate and enterocoelomates. Correct? Okay. And again, the formation of mouth and anus in the embryonic stage of any organism. Particularly based on that, we can classify the organism into two types. The first type is protostome, the other type is deuterostomes. Protostomes is nothing but mouth originates from blastopore, whereas deuterostomes, anus originates from blastopore, or mouth doesn't originate from blastopore, that is deuterostomes. Done? Okay, so write down protostome, deuterostomes here. Okay. Next is about the segmentation, metamerism. So earthworm is a very good example for metamerism. Starting from the phylum Annelida till Chordata, all animals exhibit metamerism. So write down it. Okay, from Annelida till Chordates exhibit metamerism. Notochord, it is very important character seen only in Chordata. Okay, but again in Chordata you have to look for some differences in the presence of notochord, whether that notochord is present throughout the life or only in the embryonic stage. Based on that, we can classify the chordata phylum into three subphylum. Remember it: tunicata, that is Urochordata, Cephalochordata, and Vertebrata. Okay, in Vertebrata, notochord is present only embryonic development, but it is replaced during its adult stage, particularly by vertebral column. Then the classification of animals here. So please be thorough with this. So this particular chart could be given in NCERT NEET examination from the NCERT. Okay. Here I have highlighted very important sentence. That means this is very, very important. Okay, because they have mentioned it. Echinodermata exhibit radial or bilateral symmetry depending on the stage. But you know that echinodermata, you take starfish. Normally the larvae of the starfish will exhibit bilateral symmetry, but as it grows into adult stage, they exhibit radial symmetry, specifically biradial symmetry. So please note this, very important. Please highlight this. Got it? Could be asked in 2022 NEET. Then phylum Porifera. Here you have to be thorough with these terms. What is spongosil, ostia, osculum, choanocyte, spicule, spongin, everything, hermaphrodites. Okay, and these diagrams are very, very important. Got it? So if this diagram is given and if you need to identify which type of organism is this. Okay, they have given cycon. This is cycon actually. Got it? So this is actually Euspongia. Okay, then this is Spongilla. So this diagram could be asked, very important. No need to learn the diagram. Okay, but you should know which type of organism is this. You need to identify the diagram. Okay, which organism is that. Next is this Coelenterata. Here all the diagrams are very, very important. Got it? Very, very important. These two diagrams, 1, 2, 3, these three are very important. Okay, so this is the medusa stage of the coelenterate and this is the polyp stage of the coelenterate, and this is the nidoblast, that is stinging cell. Correct? What do you call for this nidoblast? That is nematocyst. This diagram could be asked. Please know this diagram. Got it? Okay, so next we move to this next phylum, Ctenophora. This diagram is very important and the name of the organism is Ctenophora. It is also called as Pleurobrachia. Got it? Okay, so actually this is Pleurobrachia. Yes. Okay. What is the specialty of Pleurobrachia? Everything is discussed. You know about it. Bioluminescence is very important character. We have discussed around 10 different phyla, but bioluminescence character is restricted to this particular phylum, that is Ctenophora. Yes? Okay. Phylum Platyhelminthes, again very important. The diagram see here. So you need to identify this organism, okay, by looking into the diagram. Got it? That could be asked in the competitive examination. Got it? Okay. So next we move to this Aschelminthes. This diagram is mentioned, that is Ascaris is given. So there is a high chance of getting this question. The difference between male Ascaris and female Ascaris. How do you differentiate? Very simple. See, this is female, which is longer and which is bent. Okay. Here this is narrow but it is curvy, okay, at the ends. So male and female. Next is Annelida. And here pseudocoelomate, the term you have to remember. Okay, and the annelids are very important phylum. You know that the characteristics already mentioned, particularly Parapodia and Nephridia is very important character of this Annelida. You could see the diagrams. This is actually called as Nereis. The scientific name of the Nereis is Neanthes. Got it? Okay, so you should be thorough with these examples which is mentioned. Got it? Okay. Next comes the phylum Arthropoda. Very, very commonly asked question in the NEET. That is actually from the part Arthropoda. Okay, normally they pick this phylum because it is one of the largest animal containing phylum in the world, that is Arthropoda. Okay, I hope that you have understood the NEET session as well as regular classes of the phylum Arthropoda. So be thorough with the diagrams and number of appendages. See, count here 1, 2, 3, 4. Here they have not mentioned how many appendages are there in the scorpion, but here the diagram is given, so they know that you have to learn this. Okay, so based on that they will ask the question. So here what is common here? The antenna is common. I think I don't know whether it is given here or not, but in the picture antenna is there, and then the scorpion belongs to Arachnida class, and it has got four appendages, four pairs, correct? So Arachnida means you can imagine spider also. So again four. In the case of insects, it is how many? 1, 2, 3, three pairs. Done? Easy? Okay. So next is the phylum Mollusca. Yeah, recently discussed. Hope you understood that. Particularly radula is very important. It is the rasping organ, nothing but mouth. Got it? Okay. So octopus doesn't have shell, but this is pila. They have shell. What is the other name of pila? Apple, snail. Got it? Octopus, devilfish. You need to be thorough with all the examples. Okay. Then one more thing is visceral hump, and between visceral hump and the mantle, what is there? Mantle cavity is there that contains gills. Tenidia is the name of that gills, which is very important for respiration. Okay, so next here echinodermata, they are spiny bodied organisms. You know about echinodermata. Just imagine starfish, but this diagram could be asked, that is Ophiura. Okay, it is also called as brittle star, Ophiura. I think somewhere else it is given here, Ophiura, brittle star. Yes, please highlight this. All the examples are very important. Echinus, sea urchin. Got it? So no need to worry about this one, what you call, out of the syllabus concepts. Don't worry about it. Okay, just stick to NCERT. From Animal Kingdom chapter, they will pick questions from NCERT itself. Okay, I will assure you that. Next is hemichordata is here. So here proboscis is the excretory organ. Please write here, excretory organ. Very important. This diagram is very important. What is absent here? Post-anal tail is absent. Yes. Okay. So easy, right? It's easy. Remember the examples: balanoglossus, saccoglossus. This diagram could be asked, and you need to identify this animal. So that is nothing but balanoglossus. Next is phylum chordata. Very, very important and simple. You just need to stick to NCERT. That's it. This diagram is the simple body plane of the phylum chordata. Yes, you could see so many stuffs here, right? Narochord is there, notochord is there, gill slits are there, post-anal tail is there, heart is actually on the ventral side. It is not mentioned here, but heart is ventral side. So this is very important. Difference between chordata and non-chordata is very, very important. Got it? Okay. Next comes this. This particular page is very important because you may get questions related to examples of the three subphyla of the main phylum chordata: Urochordata and Cephalochordata. What is the other name of this Urochordata? That is Tunicata. Let me just write here. This Tunicata particularly has a type of carbohydrate which makes up their cartilage, the main body cover cartilage, that they don't have kind of like endoskeleton. Okay, they have, their body is made up of cartilage which is called as tunicin. Name is tunicin, hence tunicata, that is Urochordata. Got it? Okay. And one thing is, whether in Urochordata notochord is present throughout the life or only in its larval stages. In the larval stages, particularly in the larval tail, notochord is there. Correct? Okay, so let us just come back to hemichordata. Here I think I have mentioned about the stomochord. This is very important. Got it? It is nothing, it is not notochord. It is notochord like structure called as stomochord. That is present somewhere else here. Here. Stomochord is present here. Got it? Okay. So that is the reason why people always call hemichordate as the connecting link between invertebrates and the vertebrates, or like non-chordates and chordates. Got it? Okay. If you take this cephalochordata, that is actually here you see the notochord. Yes. Okay. Notochord is present throughout their life. So this is the thing, that is starting from head till tail. Please highlight these points particularly. In cephalochordata, where exactly notochord is present. Please, these two statements, sentences are very, very important. Got it? I'm stressing this point. Very important. Examples: Urochordata, Acidia and Sulpa. Very important again. Cephalochordata, Branchiostoma, that is also called as Amphioxus or Lancelet. Remember it? Yes. Okay. Just make a small chart and stick it to your study table. That's it. Okay. You can recall it. Because these concepts are not mechanisms. So you need to remember the terms. Got it? So to remember it, you have to write it and keep it somewhere else. Okay, just before the examination, just recall it. Okay, you will remember it, don't worry. Okay. One more thing here is next is the vertebral column is present in a particular organism, then the organism should be called as vertebrata. They also main subphyla of the main phylum called as chordata. Got it? Okay, so that's it. If just write down here, the kidney of this vertebrata is always metanephric. That is well developed kidneys, metanephric kidneys. Got it? Okay, so this is the diagram of ascidia. Ascidia means nothing but tunicata. Correct? Okay, so next we move to next page. All the diagrams, whatever you see here, this diagram could be asked. Very simple. This diagram is nothing but cyclostomata. Class like cyclostomata, you could see here, that is agnatha. Okay, belongs to vertebrata. This particular diagram, see this diagram, it has got fins, but it is not paired. See, but in the case of here, you could see the fins are paired, fins are paired, but in this case, single fins are present on the dorsal surface. And you could see so many gill slits. In the examination, you may get a question regarding the petromyzon, that is a good example for cyclostomata. Okay, by seeing the diagram, you can easily identify how many gills are there, gill slits are there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 are there here. That means the gill slits are between 6 to 15. Easy. Got it? 6 to 15. So this is very important. Okay, that's what I have underlined here. Bearing 6 to 15 pairs of gill slits. Very, very important. Please highlight this point. Okay, example petromyzon. Okay, and moreover, remember one word that is called as anadromous migration. Got it? Okay, mix in hagfish. And here you see the two cartilaginous fishes. One is shark is there, other one is saw fish is there. That is called as pristis. Got it? Okay, so here what is main character you need to remember. In the case of chondrichthyes, that is cartilaginous fishes, notochord is present throughout their life. It is persistent. Got it? Throughout the life. And another important statement is gill slits without operculum. There is no cover for the gill slits. That's it. Then they have placoid scales. Got it? Okay, placoid scales are present. That's very important. And example, see here. Some of them have electric organs. This statement could be asked in the NEET. That is, example is torpedo. Very important. Electric organ, torpedo. Poison sting, trigon. Got it? They are all poikilotherms. What is the meaning of poikilotherms? Cold-blooded animals. Okay. How many chambers are present in the heart? Only 2 chambers. So, let me just write a word. The heart of all type of fishes. You could take Osteichthyes or Chondrichthyes. Heart is called as venous heart, because they have 2 chambers. Got it? Okay. So, venous heart. And examples compulsory, pristis and trigon, very important. Got it? Because it's already mentioned here. So, fine. Next is, in males, pelvic fins bear the clasper. So, please highlight this. Very important. Very, very important. Again, I'm stressing this point. See, to confuse you, they may pick this also. These chondrichthyes have internal fertilization. See this. Got it? Whereas, if you take this Osteichthyes, they have mentioned fertilization is usually external. So, they may pick these 2 statements and put it in the question. So, the reason is just to confuse you. That's it. Got it? Okay. The question could be tricky. And here, one more thing. Here they are oviparous. In this case, they are viviparous. See the difference. Okay. So, this is it. And how many gill slits are there? 4 pairs. Here more, 6 pairs. This is 4 pairs. But they have a protective covering that is called as operculum. That is the major difference between Osteichthyes and Chondrichthyes. Got it? Okay. So heart is same, everything. And one more thing. Air bladder is very important characteristic of all the bony fishes. Air bladder. Please write down this. In this case, the Chondrichthyes, no air bladder. So they need to swim regularly. Otherwise, they will sink. Next is here the example. See, I have highlighted only this particular word, Exocetus. It is also called as flying fish. Very, very important. Exocetus, flying fish. No confusion here. Write it down somewhere else. Got it? Okay. Next comes the class Amphibia. Here, very important thing is tympanum, that is the ear. They don't have pinna like us. Okay. And cloaca is very important. It is the common opening that for urination, even the copulation, that is mating, okay, and even digestive tract also. It is nothing but serves as anus. And heart is three chambered. See, it is bit upgraded. Three chambered heart in the case of amphibia. And fertilization, you know that it is always external. They are all oviparous. Development is always indirect. That means they have a important character that is called as metamorphosis. Right here, sorry. Metamorphosis is nothing but a type of life cycle exhibited by the amphibia where they lay the eggs, then eggs hatches to release small tiny larvae that they are called as tadpoles. Tadpoles live for around 21 days. After that they lose their tails and they develop the limbs, that is forelimbs and hind limbs, and then actually they enter into terrestrial life, that is metamorphosis. So important thing. And examples, ichthyophis, I have written here, highlighted this, very important. Limbless amphibia, you may get a question. Name the limbless amphibia, that is ichthyophis. Got it? Okay. So here the diagrams could be asked but not important. Okay, but I recommend you to stick to the NCERT diagrams. Okay. Reptilia here, you could see snakes and lizards shed their scales as skin cast. So this could be important statement. So please highlight this. Okay. And examples, all the examples of the reptilia, very, very important. That's what I have highlighted everything. Got it? So please understand. You may get a question regarding poisonous snakes. You must know about Naja, then Bungarus and Vipera. Okay. So you may get a question for the match the following. Chelone, Testido, Chameleon and Calotes in one column and their common name in, that is English name, in the other column. So you need to match. Class AOC is very important because they normally have the ability to fly, yes, in the sky. You could see here, can fly except flightless bird. So this statement is very important, ostrich. Got it? The thing is, again we go back to the example. See, ostrich scientific name is Struthio. Got it? Please learn this scientific name of the ostrich. Name the flightless bird, Struthio. Okay, out of 4 options, this particular scientific name will be given in any one of the options. Got it? So you have to be careful about it. Okay. Next, they are warm-blooded. If you take vertebrata, amphibia and reptilia, they are cold-blooded, poikilotherms. But aves and mammals, they are homeotherms, warm-blooded. Okay. They have oil glands because their skin is normally dry, and to give some kind of like what you call lubrication to these feathers, they have oil glands at the base of their tail. The other name of the oil gland in birds called as preen glands, P-R-E-E-N glands. Just note this point. Okay. Other than that, all the examples are very important. Okay. For example, if they pick this penguin, scientific name is Aptenodytes. Got it? Aptenodytes is the scientific name of the penguin. No confusion here. Just learn it. Then mammalia, it's easy, but always remember this. Duck-billed platypus, scientific name is Ornithorhynchus. It is the only egg-laying mammal. The marsupials, they have a pouch, that is kangaroo. Okay, so Macropus is the scientific name of the kangaroo. Done. So this is actually the mammal which have the ability to fly. So it is bat. Got it? Okay, here Pteropus is actually the scientific name. This is whale. Got it? Okay, so that's all about it. Examples are very, very important. All the examples you have to be familiar with from the class Mammalia. Okay, so Ornithorhynchus, platypus, that is viviparous. So Macropus kangaroo, Pteropus flying fox, okay, Camelus camel. Here let me just give you one small example. If you take the RBC, red blood cells, in the case of human beings, we do not have no nucleus in the RBC. Note this point. Whereas if you take the camel is the only one mammal which has got nucleus in their RBC. Please note this point. Nucleus is present in their RBC. So this is the nucleus. Okay. Now, if you take other class like amphibia also exhibit nucleus in their RBC. Just two words. Camel RBC contains nucleus. Then amphibia RBC contains nucleus. Human RBC doesn't contain nucleus. Got it? Okay. So this is the chart. This could help you just to recall the concepts. Got it? Okay. So that's all about from this session. Thank you very much. Now let us discuss some MCQ questions from the chapter Animal Kingdom. If we have left some concepts, we can cover it up in the MCQs. If you have any doubts, you can contact me without hesitation. Okay.